Hello, welcome to Stories by Roscoe. The Blooming of Ivy. Once upon a time, in a quiet, picturesque town surrounded by hills and greenery, there lived a woman named Ivy. She was known for her striking beauty. Soft, curly hair that cascaded over her shoulders like waves of silk, and a face that seemed to be carved by angels. But despite her beauty, Ivy lived in the shadows. She was an introvert who spent her days locked away in her room, devouring books and writing poetry. To the outside world, she was a mystery, a woman who existed but never lived. Ivy wasn't lonely, at least that's what she told herself. She had her books, her journals, and her thoughts. Friends, social gatherings, and parties seemed unnecessary and exhausting. She found solace in solitude, even if it meant isolating herself from the vibrant world outside her window. Her older brother, Ryan, was the polar opposite. He was lively, social, and always surrounded by friends. On Ivy's 25th birthday, Ryan insisted on throwing a party at their home. Ivy reluctantly agreed, more to keep the peace than out of any desire to celebrate. She stayed in the corner, nursing a glass of lemonade, her nose buried in a novel, trying to remain invisible. That's when he appeared. Is that what you call a birthday party? Hiding in the corner, reading a book, a deep, teasing voice interrupted her thoughts. Startled, Ivy looked up into the eyes of a man she had never seen before. He had short brown hair, warm brown eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a charming smile that seemed to light up the room. I prefer this over loud music and meaningless chatter, Ivy replied coolly, attempting to dismiss him. But the man wasn't deterred. I'm Gavin, by the way, your brother's friend, and I think you need to loosen up. Life's too short to be spent hiding in corners. Gavin was everything Ivy wasn't. Outgoing, carefree, and full of life. He had a knack for making everyone around him laugh and feel at ease. Over the next few weeks, Gavin made it his mission to pull Ivy out of her shell. He would show up unexpectedly, dragging her to parties, outdoor adventures, and shopping trips. At first, Ivy resisted, feeling out of place in Gavin's loud, colorful world. But as time went on, she began to enjoy it. Gavin's infectious energy made her laugh, and for the first time in years, she felt truly alive. They became inseparable, and Ivy began to see Gavin as more than just her brother's friend. He was her guide to a life she never thought she could live, her partner in crime, and her best friend. But just as Ivy began to embrace this new life, Gavin dropped a bombshell. I'm moving to Japan, he said one evening as they sat on a park bench, watching the sunset. Ivy's heart sank. For how long? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady. A year, maybe more. It's for work, Gavin explained. But we'll stay in touch, okay? Ivy nodded, forcing a smile. But inside, she felt a deep ache. When Gavin left, her world felt dimmer. She continued going to the places he had introduced her to and even made new friends. She started dating a kind, thoughtful man named Ethan, who adored her. But something was missing. Despite her new life, Ivy felt an emptiness she couldn't explain. She laughed at parties, but the laughter felt hollow. She spent time with Ethan, but her heart wasn't in it. Months passed, and Ivy began to accept that perhaps happiness was fleeting, a momentary gift that couldn't last forever. Then, one ordinary afternoon, her phone rang. Hello, she answered. Hey, Ivy. It's me. I'm back. Let's meet for lunch, Gavin's familiar voice said on the other end. Ivy's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't realized how much she had missed him until that moment. They met the next day at a cozy cafe, and as soon as Ivy saw him, the world seemed to come alive again. They talked for hours, catching up on everything they had missed. Gavin teased her as he always did, and Ivy laughed more than she had in months. Their lunches turned into dinners, and their friendship deepened. One day, as they strolled through the park where they had once watched the sunset, Gavin stopped and turned to her. Ivy, there's something I need to say, he began, his voice unusually serious. What is it? She asked, her heart pounding. I think I've loved you for a long time, Gavin admitted, his eyes searching hers. But I was too scared to say it. I didn't want to lose what we had. Ivy felt tears welling up in her eyes. Gavin, I've been waiting to hear those words, she whispered. From that moment on, their bond grew stronger. Gavin proposed a year later, on the same park bench where he had once told her he was leaving for Japan. This time, he promised he would never leave her side again. Ivy's world, once confined to the four walls of her room, had expanded into a kaleidoscope of colors and emotions, all thanks to Gavin. And so Ivy and Gavin began their happily ever after, a testament to the magic of friendship, love, and the courage to step out of one's comfort zone. The moral of the story is true happiness lies in embracing life fully, stepping out of your comfort zone, and cherishing the connections that bring out the best version of yourself. Sometimes love and fulfillment come from unexpected friendships that transform your world. Thank you. Please return for more stories.